Okay, so we all know Miraculous Ladybug, right? It sucks. The writing sucks, the voice acting is suspicious, and the designs are trash. Literally, this whole fan base, most of it at least, is based off how good the show could have been. That 2D animation that was so clean, but they didn't do because the spots were too difficult. In fact, I'm one of those fans. I look at fan art of that and wish it could have been as good as some of these writers are making it. It honestly would have been much better for the show if they just redesigned the characters rather than switching to 3D. Because guess what? The main superhero designs are trash. And I'll get to that in a later bit of the video. But first, let's start with Marinette Dupain-Chang's design. Okay, so Marinette's outfit isn't bad, but it's really simple for her being a young fashion designer. As most people know, most of the characters of the show are around 14 years old. Yes, this is something very wearable for young teens. Marinette's design just isn't that experimental for her being a fashion designer. It's cute, but it's too plain for her. Sure, Marinette has a few, flower accents in her clothes, I guess. Like on her shirt, on her shoes, on her purse. But throughout even the first season, we've seen Marinette make more creative things than flowers on her shirt. We've even seen her make a whole feather hat for Adrian with her name, her name was embroidered upside down so that nobody else could steal her design, but yet the best thing she could come up with her own clothes are flowers. There's also her jacket. It kind of has this corporate look that doesn't really suit her. It's mainly because of the collar. I feel like since Marinette wears cute and pink stuff, then it would be more like a cute collar. It's also the color. It's good that it has contrast against her other clothes, but I feel like there's different colors that could contrast pink and white. Again, Marinette likes the sort of dainty but classy style, and I feel like that gray just doesn't suit the jacket at all. Honestly, maybe instead of a jacket, maybe a cute cardigan. Or maybe one of those lacy cover-ups you see your grandma wearing at Easter. Literally anything would be better than that jacket, to be honest. Okay, moving past the clothes thing is Marinette's eyes. It's basically common knowledge in the Miraculous fandom that Marinette is Chinese white mixed. However, contrasting Marinette's mother's Chinese heritage, Marinette's eyes do not reflect her mom's beautiful narrow eyes, but instead the big wide anime eyes that are everywhere. I honestly think that Marinette's design should resemble her culture. By looking at Marinette's mom Sabine, you can see that she wears clothes that come from her culture. And though Sabine doesn't really seem like the kind of mom that would stress too much over what her kids wear, Marinette does take a lot of inspiration from her mom, so it would make sense that she dressed somewhat similar. Which honestly could explain the flowers, because Sabine has a few flowerish things on her shirt, but they're not the same. Another example would be putting Marinette next to Kagami, which happens a lot in the show. Kagami is a Japanese character, and like Sabine, she also has those narrow eyes that I was talking about before. But Marinette, again, has the very cliche anime eyes that contrasted a lot. And though Marinette's race isn't essential to her character, I feel like it should have been implemented more instead of it just being a fact in the fandom. But straying from all that, there is another good thing I can say about her design. I do like the blue hair. A lot of people comment on the blue hair and how it shouldn't be that way. A lot of arguments saying that the blue hair is racist in some ways. But there's a reason for her hair being blue. In animation, black hair is usually hard to highlight and shade, so I understand why they went for the bluish hairstyle. I do think they are improving with the new design though. In Season 6, her hair is more of a dark grayish color, and it's shaded pretty well, I'd say. Other than those critiques though, Marinette's design isn't that bad. Again, it's just too simple. I just wish they did a little bit more than that though, because they don't have to worry about it being complicated because it's all 3D. Isn't that wonderful, guys? It's almost like 3D animation is easier to put more details into. That's probably why there's more 3D movies now. That's so cool. Next up is Adrian. Honestly, Adrian's design is pretty good other than the orange shoes. A lot of people critique his design for being simple because his dad is a fashion designer, but have you seen Gabriel Agrest's clothes? Like on the different magazine covers, Adrian's wearing really simple clothing. The only time Adrian really wears anything complicated is when he's doing like a catwalk. But anyway, since I don't really have anything to say about Adrian's design, I'm low-key going to rant. I'm gonna say it right now. Adrian should have been the main character. Let's be honest, Adrian is so much more interesting. To be honest, Marinette isn't really that much of an interesting character. Like, you see, Marinette's life is completely perfect. She has two of the most caring and respectful parents ever. The only thing that's really wrong with Marinette's life is the fact that she gets bullied, and basically everyone does. So, like, it's not really special, is it? Her only character flaws are really her getting jealous because someone's with Adrian, or her obsessing over Adrian, or her being a psycho because of Adrian. All of her actions cycle around Adrian, and she's barely even her own character. If this show didn't focus on Adrian or anyone else at all in B-plots, then the show would be completely boring. The only thing really keeping people watching Marinette is because they want to see where she goes with Adrian. Adrian, on the other hand, has a very imperfect life. His whole life, he's been stuck in a house without a mother and a father that's barely there. He doesn't have real friends until he comes to the high school. Only Chloe, who really only cares about him for status. Unlike Marinette, Adrian actually has flaws. His flaws don't revolve around other people. Since he's been inside a big mansion all his life, basically alone, he doesn't really understand other people. He's very gullible to other people's feelings, which is probably why he keeps calling Marinette a good friend. His flaws actually have a root other than just being focused on one person he's obsessed with. Adrian overall is just 5 times the character Marinette is. The show would have been so much better if he was the main character. There also just would have been more potential for the show if Adrian was the main character. His dad in the show is the main supervillain of the whole series. Upon when Gabriel Agreste was revealed to be Hawkmoth, that would have been 5 times better if Adrian was the main focus. Like, I can imagine myself watching this at 12 years old, and then seeing the main character's dad be Hawkmoth and going nuts. Just by this segment of the video, you can tell how much more interesting Adrian is. I've spent more time talking about Adrian's character than his design, but more of Marinette's design than her actual character, because I had nothing to say about her character. It isn't there. For this last bit, I'm just going to group Ladybug and Cat Noir's designs together, because I hate them both. As stated before, the characters in the show are around 14 to 15 years old. In the later seasons, it's also expressed that the superhero designs reflect the holder. Tell me why Cat Noir is fully decked out in leather. And tell me why Marinette has to wear a super tight costume for Ladybug's design. Marinette is known to be a very shy and, tense character, so the bold costume doesn't really fit her character at all. And the suit in general is just ugly. In Master Fu's book, there is a wonderful design for Ladybug in the past. Basically, all the past designs in that book are so much better than the current superhero designs. Again, if these designs were better, they probably could have kept the 2D animation that was originally used for Miraculous Ladybug. Ladybug didn't have to have the bioluminescent red polka dot suit. Again, Marinette is not very shy and outgoing, so maybe a flowier superhero design would be better. There are examples of flowy superhero designs in the show, but all the current superheroes have to have these weird skin-tight latex-looking suits. It's just extremely unflattering for all the designs. And like the argument I brought up earlier, these aren't really designs that 14 and 15-year-olds would be wearing. I feel like the designs would be so much more comfortable for the superhero costumes. However, I'm not really going to say anything else about their designs because there really isn't anything to say. They're kind of just bland and generic, to be honest. But I will talk about the Kwamis.
Why is Tiki so annoying? Out of everyone in the show, Tiki is probably my least favorite. I get the show is made for, little kids, but, I didn't even want to listen to that when I was 12 years old. I was sneak watching the show so my parents would make fun of me, and do you think I want to listen to that high-pitched screaming? That's not how you keep a secret. In my head, Tiki talks to Marinette like how Caillou's mom talks to him. Her character's really inconsistent. At some point she'll be like, "Oh, Marinette, don't do that, that's a bad decision." But then the next scene she'll just be telling Marinette to make the stupidest choice ever. She literally told Marinette to steal another person's book in broad daylight because she thought it would be important. I mean, it was, but that wasn't a good choice still. I hate Tiki so much, but you do know who is cool. Black. He's the least annoying Kwami in the show. He doesn't have a stupid high-pitched voice and I don't hate him. Plaque doesn't try to influence anyone's decisions. He's just okay, do it then. And it makes him so much less annoying than Tiki.